young and the Restless Spoilers that Mariah returned from her business trip with a heavy heart. Although she tried to hide her pain, she could not escape the guilt of what had happened during the trip. An event that even she did not dare to fully admit. The ambiguity of her actions that night made her even more tormented. She might carry this pain with her for the rest of her life, unable to shake it off no matter how hard she tried. It was not easy to face this truth, but did Mariah have the courage to admit her mistake? In recent days, Sharon began to notice signs of something wrong with her daughter. Mariah always had unusual expressions. When she returned home, her eyes were empty, her gestures were not as strong as before, sometimes there was a strange silence. Sharon, although not knowing exactly what happened, clearly felt that the pain Mariah was carrying in her heart was too great, and could seriously affect her spirit. Sharon could not help but worry, especially when she began to notice the despair in Mariah's eyes. Maybe she was facing a pain that no one could understand, and Sharon feared that excessive torment could push Mariah to negative thoughts, even suicidal thoughts. Tessa, Mariah's wife who had always trusted her, also noticed her strange actions. Although she could not determine clearly, she felt that something was wrong. Mariah was avoiding Tessa's questions, the conversations that had always been a habit in their lives. Tessa felt that an invisible wall was gradually forming between them, and no matter how hard she tried, Mariah always kept her distance. Tessa could not help but doubt, was Mariah cheating on her? But what hurt Tessa the most was not the betrayal in her relationship, but the feeling of being unable to do anything to help the person she loved the most. Mariah was not someone who easily hid her feelings, but this time things were different. She felt the change in herself, the guilt was increasingly invading her mind, making every decision vague. She had done something she could not forgive, and even though she knew that keeping quiet would only make the situation worse, she still did not have the courage to face the truth. The drunkenness to forget the pain could not help her avoid it forever. The more Mariah tried to avoid it, the more she felt the collapse within herself. Sharon felt that Mariah was on the brink of despair. She could not ignore the obvious changes in her daughter. The pain Mariah was suffering came not only from the betrayal but also from the obsessions that she had not been able to resolve. Sharon recalls what Mariah has been through in the past, especially when Ian Ward returns to her life. The trauma of Ian's action still affects Mariah, and could this new mistake be another painful milestone in her long and traumatic journey? Tessa begins to suspect that Mariah is no longer herself. The image of the gentle, honest wife she once loved seems to have disappeared, replaced by a stranger, a Mariah she cannot recognize. Every lie, no matter how small or large, is an attempt to hide a truth that Mariah cannot face. Tessa cannot help but feel hurt at the thought that she may have been deceived. But deep down, she knows that worse than the betrayal is the pain Mariah is going through. There is nothing she can do but wait, hoping that one day, Mariah will open up and share with her what happened. While Sharon tries to find a way to reach her daughter, Tessa tries her best to keep their marriage together. However, this situation cannot last forever. One day, Mariah will have to face the truth, not only about what she has done but also about her own feelings and trauma. Sharon and Tessa can only hope that when Mariah is strong enough to face her past, they will be able to help her move on and heal her deep wounds. Mariah is facing a series of difficult questions that she can't seem to avoid. With guilt looming, her cheating on Tessa still a raw wound, and things are slowly coming to a head and spiraling out of control. While she's trying to keep her affair a secret, the truth may not stay that way for long. Rumors are starting to swirl, and fans can't help but wonder, is Mariah pregnant from the affair? If true, it could change everything. Mariah not only has to face Tessa, but also herself. Can she admit her betrayal to her wife? Will Tessa forgive her when she learns that Mariah not only cheated on her, but may be pregnant with a child that isn't hers? While Tessa is trying to protect her relationship, Mariah's pregnancy could change everything. The decision to keep the baby will not only be a matter of new life, but also an opportunity for both of them to find love and forgiveness, or it could be a fatal blow to the love they have worked so hard to build. The next question that fans and characters will have to face is whether Tessa will be able to forgive Mariah. Can she accept a child if it is the result of betrayal? In such a situation, Tessa will have to ask herself whether she can continue to live with the pain of this betrayal, or will she decide to end the relationship and follow a new path. But there is another factor that complicates the situation: Tessa's one-night stand with Daniel Romalotti. Will this be a big enough shock to make Tessa and Mariah end their relationship forever? If Tessa and Daniel continue their relationship, it could be a turning point for Tessa's life. Will she be drawn into a new love, or is it just a rebellion against a relationship that has been damaged too much? The question of whether Tessa's feelings for Daniel are a true romance or just a temporary way to forget the pain will be a big test for both of them. It is also possible that the man Mariah cheated on may appear in Genoa City, making the situation even more complicated. If Mariah becomes pregnant, will he return and claim paternity of the child? And if this happens, will Mariah be able to continue with her life with Tessa, or will she be drawn into a new love, a relationship with the man she cheated on? The scenario is getting more and more complicated. Mariah is at a crossroads, where the decisions she makes may change her life and the lives of those around her. Will she be able to salvage her relationship with Tessa, or will she face the dire consequences of her poor decisions? Questions of love, forgiveness, and the future will be a big theme in the coming episodes. In a world full of secrets and betrayals, Mariah is always the one who faces the most difficult challenges. She used to be one of the only people Tessa could trust, but now, she herself is caught in a difficult journey of her own. Mariah is not someone who accepts defeat easily, but after all the betrayals, can she find a new happiness for herself, or will that path lead her to irreparable damage? Mariah used to be the model of a strong, honest, and resilient girl. But recently, no one can recognize her anymore. Guilt has eaten away at Mariah's mind, and she can't seem to escape the ghosts of the past. People are starting to notice that she is no longer herself. She seems to be burying a deep secret that no one understands, and Mariah herself can't free herself from the torment in her heart. Tessa, her wife, is no longer the person she can share her feelings with. After a series of sad events, secrets are revealed. Mariah realizes that their relationship is on the brink of breaking up. Tessa betrayed her, and that is a wound that Mariah cannot easily forgive. But can she continue to maintain a relationship with someone she cannot trust, or will Mariah find a way to find new happiness for herself? Betrayal is not an easy thing to face, but Mariah has moments of weakness. She cannot control her emotions, and sometimes she feels lost in her own life. The times she gets drunk to forget the pain make her even more lost. And those times, when she is not sober, Mariah makes a serious mistake, a mistake that she cannot undo now. She knows she needs to confess to Tessa, but is she brave enough to face the truth? Will this confession make things worse, or could it be a chance for both of them to find peace in their hearts? Mariah is not only afraid of Tessa's betrayal, but also afraid that her mistake will be the end of everything. She feels like she is standing at a crossroads, not knowing what to do next. A new future with hesitant decisions amidst all the lies and betrayals, a thought arises in Mariah's mind: is now the time to think about expanding her family? Can the two women forgive each other, to start a new chapter in their lives? But is that possible, when the wounds in their hearts are still too deep? Can Tessa forgive Mariah, or is the pain of betrayal too great to heal? This is a question that Mariah cannot find the answer to. She loves Tessa, and she does not want to lose her. But does she have the courage to face the truth and admit that she was wrong? If Tessa can forgive her, can Mariah accept the baby, if there is one, or will she continue to live in her own torment? At this moment, another situation complicates everything. Tessa and Daniel Romalotti, a name that constantly haunts Mariah's mind. One night, an unexpected meeting, and an unexpected connection. Tessa and Daniel not only have an intimate conversation, but they also have intimate moments, making Mariah feel like she is no longer an important person in her wife's life. But is it a betrayal by Tessa, or just a temporary filling of the void in her heart? If Tessa and Daniel continue this relationship, what will happen to Mariah? A new romance is brewing between them, which could be what breaks Mariah apart, but will it lead to a new romance for Tessa and Daniel? Can Tessa really move on with Mariah, or will she seek a new future with Daniel? Mariah faces the truth while all of this is happening. Mariah is facing an even bigger truth. Will she be able to conceive from this deception? This is not just a physical question, but also a spiritual one. A child may be a new connection, but could it be the end of any relationship that has ever existed? Will Mariah continue her relationship with Tessa and care for the child, or will she find a way to end things and start over? Mariah is facing the most difficult choice of her life. Every decision she makes could change her life and the lives of those around her. Will she be able to find herself again, or will she be caught up in an unforeseen chain of events that will cause her to lose everything? Mariah is not one to give up easily, but she cannot escape the fact that every decision has consequences. Her deception of Tessa and her past mistakes are leading her down a difficult path. But is this the end for Mariah, or will it be a chance for them to find happiness together? Only time will tell if Mariah can find herself and rebuild her relationship with Tessa, or if she will continue to search for new happiness, even if the path is full of challenges.